Self-discovery on the way. Reflect, reset, be your best. Join the quiz, it's not a test. Feel the light, embrace the dawn. Empowerment, it's going strong. Daily lesson quiz, hooray! What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today. Morning gods, we shine so bright. Wisdom flowing, pure insight. Soars through God's words, they lift us high. New beginnings reach the sky. Every moment, take it in. Start anew, let's begin. From the dawn to the night, together we ignite. Daily lesson quiz, hooray! What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to First Light Reflections, your weekday guide to self-discovery and empowerment, where each sunrise brings you and I a new chance to reflect, reset, and create the best version of ourselves. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope you've had a wonderful week so far. Good morning, Charlotte. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, good morning. And also, good morning to those of you who still may be watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or maybe you're catching the replay. Either way, we're glad you're here with us as we prepare to enter this time of reflection. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Mama B. How are you feeling today, family? As we prepare to enter this time of reflection, let us remember to yield our hearts to the Lord. Why? Because seeking His purpose and His kingdom above all else is what transforms us. So let us take a moment to do things decent and in order so we can get started and get ready to cover some ground in our devotional text this morning. How's that sound? Heavenly Father, we come before you. Thankful, Lord, for letting us see the light of another day, the first light reflection of another day, another chance to reflect and reset and create the best version of ourselves. Your word tells us we are made in your image. Father, we ask that you tabernacle with us and that you may be glorified in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, family, let us not delay this morning. Let's just jump right into it. I am excited that you are here with me today. This is your community and your space to reflect and grow. Let us shine together. So as we look at our topic this morning, talk less, say more. Are y'all ready? Just let me know so we can get going. I don't want to leave anyone and take off and say, wait. Yeah. I'm ready. Are y'all ready? Okay. Talk less, say more. You know, starting out of the gate, Michelle says, I'm ready. Some people talk way too much. Always have something to say. Always sharing an opinion. Always running their mouth. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, are my words even valuable? Because let's be real, a lot of talking doesn't equal a lot of wisdom. Charlotte said me. A lot of talking doesn't equal a lot of wisdom. Some people fill the air with words, but they say nothing that's worth remembering. And even worse, when you talk too much, sin is right behind it. You know, have you ever caught yourself gossiping without realizing it? Have you caught yourself gossiping without realizing it? Have you ever said something you had to apologize for later? Right? These are easy questions. These are easy pop quiz questions this morning, right? Because we can all put that thumbs up to at least one of those, right? Maybe we can put 2 thumbs up to a couple of them. Or maybe we can just put both hands up and say all of them. All of them. Every one of them. Every one. That's because too many words lead to trouble. But a wise person, they don't just speak to fill silence. They know when to talk, when to listen, and when to be quiet. Michelle says, been there. So today we're going to break this down because our words carry weight, and it's time to start using them wisely. At this time in Earth's history, this world needs some wise words, family. And this brings us to our question of the day. Do you speak with wisdom, or do you just speak? Do you just talk to talk? Family, our devotional text, we're looking at verses 19 and 20. We're still in Proverbs chapter 10, verses 19 and 20. In the multitude of words, sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. The heart of the wicked is worth little. Mercy? Well, let's get into it. Let's break it down. In the multitude of words, sin is not lacking. So it's telling us that the more we talk, the more likely you are to say something foolish, wrong, or sinful. Wow. The odds seem stacked against us there, right? The more you talk, the more likely you are to say something foolish, wrong, or sinful. In the multitude of words, sin is not lacking. But he who restrains his lips is wise. So wisdom isn't just about what you say, it's about knowing when to stay silent and to say nothing. Good morning, Burton. So have you ever found yourself in an argument knowing deep down that you knew the point when you're like, at this point, yourself says, stop talking. You say, hold on, self, I got this. You just sit there, right? Knowing deep down you should have just stopped talking, but you kept going anyway. I just gonna put both hands up for all of that. You knew everything inside, every alarm bell was ringing, inside in your mind, like stop, don't say it. But you continue to go on. Right? You had to get that last word in. You had to make that point crystal clear. Only later to realize that, man, I just made things worse. I did not yield. I continued to move forward, and now this is a mess. That's because words have power. They can either build or destroy, heal or wound, ignite passion, or just burn everything to the ground. And the reality is, too many people are out here setting fires with their mouths, burning bridges, damaging relationships, and shutting doors God meant for them to walk through. All because they didn't know when to be quiet. And wisdom isn't about just saying the right thing. It's about knowing when to say nothing at all, talking less, saying more. It's about recognizing that not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every battle needs to be fought. Sometimes we just need to leave the cape on the shelf. And not every situation requires an opinion. Because here's the thing. If your words aren't bringing life, put it in the chat, family. What are they doing? If our words aren't bringing life, what is it bringing? Destruction, chaos, death. Can you think of any more? Heartache, pain, envy, jealousy, strife. We can go on and on with the list, right? Because if our words aren't bringing life, what are they doing? It tells us the tongue of the righteous is choice silver. Righteous words are valuable, rare, and worth something. See, it says choice silver. It just didn't say any type of silver. It says this is of a different grade. This is a little higher up. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. It's rare. It's valuable. It's worth something. And a wise person speaks with purpose and with impact. The heart of the wicked is worth little. So it tells us the root of foolish speech is a corrupt what? There it is right there. Is a corrupt heart. So when your heart isn't right, your words won't be either. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. The heart of the wicked is worth little. So when the heart's off, the words will be as well. So have you ever met someone who talks a lot but says nothing? Their words have no weight. There's no substance, just noise, just a clanging cymbal, just talk, just noise filling the air. You know, it's like cheap metal that looks strong but bends under pressure. Their speech lacks any depth, any purpose, and any power. But then there's the righteous, their words, right? The choice silver that our devotional text speaks of. Choice silver, the words aren't thrown around carelessly, not just spoken to hear themselves talking. Their words carry weight. They build, they instruct, they correct, they uplift. And they don't speak just to be heard. They speak to make an impact. Have you ever met someone like that? So we have to ask ourselves, are my words worth listening to? Or am I just adding to the noise? And this is a noisy world right now. Noisy. See, the heart and the tongue are connected. A wicked heart produces worthless words, and a wise heart produces wisdom. So if your speech is reckless, empty, or destructive, it's not just a mouth issue, family. It's what? It's a heart issue. And some people let their mouths write checks that their character can't cash. So they're quick to run off at the mouth, quick to criticize, quick to gossip. And you remember we talked about yesterday that self-reflection, looking at self first. When the pastor says, hey, look over, say to your neighbor, no, we need to be saying to ourselves, you know what? My neighbor going to have to take care of themselves for now. I need to reflect on myself. Good morning, Lupa. Long time, my friend, long time. Right? They're quick to run off at the mouth, criticize, gossip, but never realizing that foolish words expose a foolish heart. But a person walking in righteousness, their words are measured, intentional, and full of value. So before you speak, ask yourself, is this wisdom or is this noise? And we already know. We already know. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember how loud you were. They remember whether your words meant something. Give me a hand up. Have you ever been talking to someone and they just continue to get louder and louder and louder? Like you're going to accept the point even more because they're taking it to that next level. They're like, let me turn the volume up and let me go up. And then you feel like you're trying to go over them. You know, but the best way with situations like that, you know, when they say, we go low, we go high. When they go high, you just continue to go lower. Because they're going to have to stop and say, what you say? You continue to go lower or say nothing at all. Lupa, tell your sons and your wife, hello, I hope your family's doing well. It has indeed been a long time. Family, right? You know this type of person I'm talking about. They go loud. Michelle says she kind of chuckled about it because somebody probably came to mind. She said, yeah. Right? It's like the louder they get, they figure the more that you're going to accept their opinion or that the volume of what they're saying is going to is going to win the argument, for lack of different words right now. They're going to win. That's going to make them win because they just and just loud. It's like, man, ooh. You know, Satan's subtle trap is the lie that every thought needs to be spoken. Satan wants you to think, well, if I don't say it, who will? Someone has to say it. Well, I have to defend myself. I can't just sit back and stay quiet, right? And so you talk too much, react too fast, and we end up regretting it later. Right? I can't just sit back and stay quiet. I have to say something. And so what happens? You talk too much, react too fast, and regret it later. Lupa says, I was just talking to my younger son about this yesterday. So look at that. See how the spirit works? This is what happens. But we say, I have to defend myself, but you don't understand. They were saying, but this is what I had to speak. Well, if I didn't say it, somebody's got to say it. Somebody finally has to tell Sister Bertha and put her in her place. Somebody finally has to tell them. Right? Or worse. You use words to manipulate, to gossip, or to tear others down. But let me tell you, family, your words have power, and the enemy knows it. That's why he wants you running your mouth instead of guarding your tongue. Because the more your mouth is running and the more you're thinking on the go, right? You aren't guarding your tongue. Listening many times is better than speaking. That's a fact. And the enemy wants us to just continue to talk instead of guarding our tongue. Satan doesn't need you to lie. He just needs you to speak without wisdom. He doesn't have to tempt you with deception if he can keep you reckless in your speech, reckless in your mouth, because the more you talk without discernment, the more you hand him ammunition. He's like, yeah, I got this one. I'm in control of this one. Right? To wreck your relationships, damage your credibility, and keep you bound in unnecessary conflict. If there were no words exchanged, there would be no conflict to have been had. You say, you know what? I'm just going to leave you. You're going to have that conversation with yourself because I'm walking away. I'm choosing silence at this moment. And have you ever noticed how the enemy loves to work through impulse? That urge to clap back when you feel disrespected. That need to defend yourself even before you've even prayed about it. Know what I'm talking about? Lee says, let them run their mouth. You will be amazed at what you learn. That is a fact also. God gave us 2 ears and only 1 mouth. I'm telling you, the more you let people go on and on and on, the more that spigot spout just opens up. And you learn a lot. You really do. That pull, right? You ever feel that urge, that pull? I just have to vent my frustrations, right? Vent your frustrations to the wrong people. And the devil thrives in the unguarded moments, the times when you let your words run ahead of wisdom. My grandma used to say, getting a little bit too big for your britches. That's what she would say. But here's the hard truth. Just because we think it, it doesn't mean we need to say it. Some things we need to go through, reset, bypass, whatever we need to tell ourselves. Just to let that thought remain and become a vanishing thought. But here's the hard thing is, a wise person understands every thought doesn't deserve a microphone. Every offense doesn't require a response. It doesn't. Every disagreement doesn't have to turn into a debate. The enemy wants you caught in the lie that silence means weakness. But let me say, family, real wisdom, real strength, real power, real leadership, real wisdom knows when to speak life and when to hold peace, when to stay steadfast. Remember our text that started out, stay steadfast. When to hold in the lane of peace. So you have to ask yourself, are my words building or breaking? Am I using my tongue to edify or destroy? Because at the end of the day, the enemy doesn't have to silence you if you can keep speaking destruction over your own life. Guard your mouth, protect your peace, and let wisdom do the talking. So what is the solution for how to speak less and say more? Simply pause. Pause before speaking. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Is it wise? Is it kind? Listen more, as Lee says. Listen more than you talk. The more you listen, the more you actually learn. Let wisdom guide your words. If what you're about to say doesn't build, doesn't protect, or bless, don't say it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Tell Don't do it. Pause, listen, and let wisdom guide your words. Charlotte says personal solution. Mouth taping. I need that on a t-shirt. Speak life or hold your peace. You know, I'm gonna add that to the list. I'm still working on the one that Charlotte said. Let me add this to the list. Speak life or hold your peace. I'm gonna put that down because I know my mind. There we go. And I'm gonna star that comment so I remember to go back to it as well. Speak life or hold your peace. Family. Simple. You're like, yeah, but they look simple right there, those 3 little steps, but they're hard. Do what? You know what? Start small. Take one at a time. Just try the first one. Next time, I'm just going to pause. Try it today. And see how many times you're able to reframe your thoughts simply because you pause. Try it. Then move on to step 2. Listen. Try and go and say, you know what? I'm going to let everyone completely finish their thought, finish their sentence. And I'm just going to pause and I'm going to wait. And I'm really going to listen. And you may even find yourself saying, say more. Tell me more about that. Can you expound on that? I tell you, people will gladly expound. Everyone has something to say. Social media, conversations, debates, everyone's talking, but how many are actually being heard? See, words don't hold power just because we say them. They hold power when they're backed by wisdom. And wisdom, it doesn't need to scream and shout and hoop and holler to be recognized. A fool speaks just to fill the silence. But a wise person understands that silence itself, that's a strategy. Have you ever been in a moment, again, where you knew you should have kept quiet? You should have done the mouth taping, as Charlotte said. But instead, you just kept talking. You kept going. Michelle says, especially now, words of kindness, understanding, caring are so needed. Uplifting words. So many just need someone to talk to and someone who will listen. It is much needed at this time in Earth's history. And as Michelle said, it is very much lacking. People say, well, I don't have a niche to fill. There's one. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know. There's one right there. Right? Have you ever been in the situation you just had to explain? You had to defend. You're like, but I had to. I had to get the last word in. You couldn't just go ahead and say, you know what? Hold on a minute. You know, back in the day, we used to take that receiver. Boom. Right? Or remember it had the 2 little things on there? And when you sat the receiver on and it pressed down? Or just... But then they came out with them cordless, more no way to slam them down no more. You just had to disconnect it. Hit that talk button. You just had to get that last word in. And what did it get you? Did it create more tension? More regret? Another fire to put out? I'm going to say 9.999% out of 10. It probably did, right? And see, and that's the trap. Believing every thought needs to be spoken. Thinking that every offense needs a response. Agree to disagree. Just walk away. Be like, you know what? Good point. I'll holler. Ride out. Here's the truth, family. Just because we feel it doesn't mean it needs to be said. But you're like, but it's tingling down in my shanana. Well, you might need some Pepsid AC or something. Some BC. They still sell BC. Might need some ibuprofen or some prune juice or beet juice or something, you know, to calm whatever that is. You know, the wisest people in the room aren't the loudest. They aren't the ones always giving their opinion. Have you ever noticed that those are some of the most sought out people? The people that really don't give their opinion, But you ever notice that people are drawn to those type people? Because they're like, wait a minute. I need you. Can you say it? I need you to talk to me about this. I need to run this by you. But they're not always out there saying, you get advice, come on and get it. It's your turn next. Now serving number 3,675. Tell them, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Right? You ever met those people? They say very little. But they're the ones who speak with such precision. And when they do talk, it commands a room. People listen because they built a reputation of weighing their words. And people know that if they're lucky enough to be able to partake of some of the wisdom that's about to come out, those are words that are worth waiting for. Right? That's where we need to be. A person whose words carry weight. A person whose silence means more than another person shouting. So before you rush to speak, before you cut loose and let loose on that response, family, ask yourself, do I want to be loud or do I want to be heard? Because those are two completely different things. And the ones who understand that, they don't just gain influence, they also gain respect. Utilize the 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. prayer watch time, which is also known as the watch of discipline and guidance, also known as the 6th watch. This is a time to pray for wisdom, self-control, and spiritual discipline. A lot of that's much lacking as well. If you struggle with speaking too much or using your words the wrong way, this is the hour to surrender it to God. 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Pray for self-control in your speech. Ask God to help you to speak wisely and sparingly. Wisely and sparingly. Declare that your words will bring life and not destruction. Because people assume, again, that discipline is about action, what you do, how hard you work, how consistent you are. But real discipline is just as much about what you don't do as well. Think about that. We think it's about, I did this, and I consistently, but it's also about what you don't do as well. Some of the greatest battles aren't won by speaking, but by knowing when to stay quiet, by refusing to be provoked, by not reacting in the moment, by choosing wisdom over impulse. That's why this watch is so powerful. This is the time to bring your tongue under submission, the watch of discipline and guidance, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. That time, think about this time frame though. This takes some discipline and some discernment. Because this is the time when lunch breaks are starting. This is the time at the end of the day, like, man, I got about another 2 hours to work. My nerves weighing thin. My patience weighing thin. People on my nerves. I've been here since 6 o'clock this morning. I've been clocked in since 7. I've been around these people since I'm about to go. I'm about to pop. So this takes discipline to reframe your mind and your thoughts during this time, the watch of discipline and guidance, to work on keeping and bringing your tongue under submission. Because if your words aren't under control, neither is your life. How many relationships have been damaged because of careless words? How many relationships are just severed because of careless speech? How many opportunities have been lost because someone couldn't stay quiet? How much unnecessary stress have you carried because you simply spoke too soon, spoke without thinking? And the enemy knows this. He wants your words to be a weapon against you and will use them and make sure someone uses them against you at every opportunity. He wants you to react instead of respond, because there's a difference in reacting and responding. He wants you so caught up in speaking that you never take the time or have the time to master the art of listening. So today, family, take this moment seriously. Ask God to train your tongue. 100% agree. The afternoons are the most testing times in my profession. I'm telling y'all, this is a watch of discipline. 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Nerves are on high alert. You've been looking at the same people that you didn't want to come look at in the first place. But God, you said you got dressed. You said, through Christ, I can do all things who strengthens me. I'm going to cast all my cares on him, and I'm going to go clock in, and I'm going to do what I need to do. But by noon, especially if you left your lunch at home, or, funds running a little low and you got to eat some of, just whatever that you really, like, man, the day's wearing on you. This watch takes discipline to stop and intentionally say, you know what? I'm going to work on reframing my thought. I'm going to work on discipline and guidance. But first, I'm going to guide myself. I'm going to work on my own discipline. So today, ask God, Lord, don't just order my steps. Help me to train my tongue. Ask him to give you the kind of discipline that doesn't just make you productive, but it also makes you wise at the same time. Because when you control your words, you don't just change your conversations, family. You change outcomes. Think about that. If you're serious about getting your speech in order, intentional prayer is key. That's why I created the Prayer Watch ebook to help you understand how to align your prayers with specific focuses throughout the day. It breaks down how to pray with purpose, what to pray for, and how to grow in wisdom through prayer. Download it now. The link is in the description. Start praying with purpose intentionally, because transformation doesn't just happen. It's built through discipline, and guess what? It can start today, because words are either building something or tearing something down. Every sentence, every opinion, every reaction, it's doing work. It's working, whether you realize it or not. Some conversations leave people strengthened, while others just leave wreckage behind. The question is, what kind of builder? What kind of builder are you? Some speak just to fill the silence. Others speak to be heard, but the wise, they speak to make an impact. Their words are measured, intentional, and rooted in truth. And that's why their words carry so much weight. But here's the real challenge again. It's not just about knowing when to speak. It's about also knowing when to be and stay silent. Some of the greatest damage, again, isn't done by evil words, but by careless words. And if wisdom is silver, then discipline has to be gold. So before we jump into our quiz, family, take a moment. Take a moment to reflect and really ask, are my words, do the majority of my words, is the majority of the time that I spend in conversation? Come on, coach, get your head in the game. Is the majority of the time that I spend speaking? Are my words bringing life, or are they planting seeds of destruction? Are you speaking with wisdom or just speaking to be heard? Because what comes out of the mouth is shaping more than just conversations. It's shaping your very future. Now, let's see what shape today's quiz takes on. Are y'all ready? Let's just jump right into it. Let us not delay. Let's go. All right.
In the morning, light so bright, it's the first light reflections quiz time. Tornado leading the way with God's wisdom. Let's start the quiz and seize the day.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Mama B says, speak less and listen more. Amen. Here we go, family. True or false? Proverbs chapter 10, verse 9, our devotional text today warns that excessive talking often leads to sin. Is this true or is this false? Speak less, say more. Practice on it today. People be like, you feel okay? I feel great. You mighty quiet today. Trying something new. Saving my words. Try. People like, you feel all right. Something wrong with you. Why ain't you talking? I am talking. You don't hear me? Maybe if you be quiet, you can hear me. True. The more you talk, the more likely you are to say something wrong. All right, family. He who restrains his lips is what? Wise, loud, fearful, uncertain. He who restrains his lips is wise, loud, fearful, or just uncertain. Good morning, Jessica. Which one? 1, 2, 3, or 4? All right. Let's see. That is indeed correct. He who restrains his lips is wise. All right. What is a sign of wisdom in speech? Y'all know this one? Talking constantly, restraining your words, arguing often, or always having the last word. A, B, C, or D. What is a sign of wisdom in speech? Not according to the world, according to our devotional text this morning. Now, let me put that in because somebody may pick D, always having the last word. Or you may pick C, according to our devotional text. Got to be specific. Looks like the B's have it. Let's see. That is indeed it. Restraining your words. Wise people speak with purpose. True or false? The Bible encourages speaking without restraint. Just say whatever you want to say. The Bible encourages speaking without restraint. I believe it's Ezekiel 15:9 that says, speak all of thy words at thy leisure. Is that right? Somebody look in the book of Ezekiel and see what it says. The Bible encourages speaking without restraint. Let's see. Oh, okay. Going with false, and Michelle says God has the last word. All right, that is indeed false. Wisdom requires self-control in speech. The tongue of the righteous is loud, choice silver. Harsh words are worthless. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now the enemy would have us to believe what? Number 4. The enemy often convinces you of number 3 as well. Don't say that. That's too harsh. You don't want to tell the truth. Don't do it. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. And remember at the beginning of our lesson, it told us not just any type of silver, choice silver, valuable, that extra special silver. A wise person's words are valuable. All right, what happens when you talk too much? You gain wisdom, sin increases, you get more respect, or people listen more. Now the world tells us which two. But we know, according to our devotional text, and we know according to our biblication of what the rule book says, facts. What happens when you talk too much? Y'all remember that song? You're talking out the side of your neck. I don't know why that just came to mind. Y'all remember that song? And then I believe it was another song. Was it Curtis Blow? You talk too much. You never shut. Y'all, somebody help me out. I know y'all remember that. Don't act like you've been in the church that long that you forgot. What happens when you talk too much? B, sin increases. Verse 19 warned us, too many words lead to trouble. All right. The Bible compares wise words to cheap metal. Is this true or is this false? The Bible compares wise words to cheap metal. True or false? I knew that was a song. You're talking out the side of your neck. Can't remember who sang that though. It might have been all in the same song that I'm thinking. Let me see. That is indeed false. Verse 20 told us the tongue of the righteous is choice silver. All right. The heart of the wicked is worth much, everything, little, or silver. 1, 2, 3, or 4. The heart of the wicked is worth much, everything, little, or silver. Which one, family? Much, everything, little. Or as they say, lickle. Much, everything, lickle, or silver. Which one we going with? A mickle makes a muckle. Foolishness makes a person's words and actions worthless. Little. All right? How should believers use their words to manipulate? And I already heard your thoughts over there. How should believers use their words to manipulate, to build and bring life, to always defend themselves, to impress others? Not how the world does it, according to what the rule book says. Is that who it was? You talk too much. You never shut up. I remember that song. Thank you, Michelle. I knew I wasn't going crazy. To build and bring life, righteous words carry value. All right, family, let's bring it on home. What does Proverbs chapter 10, verse 19 say about excessive words? They reveal wisdom. They often lead to sin. They increase a person's influence, or they are necessary for leadership. They reveal wisdom. They often lead to sin. They increase a person's influence, or they are necessary for leadership. What saith you this morning? Let's see. Let's see. That is indeed it. They often lead to sin. Too many words can bring regret and destruction. My, family. Listen. There's a difference between talking about wisdom and walking in it. Plenty of people who know how to quote scripture, they drop advice, and they sound deep. They sound real deep. But wisdom is not just about what you say. It's also about how you live. Some people have prayed for discernment, but ignored every moment where silence was the best response. Some have asked God for wisdom, but refused to slow down long enough to listen. Words mean nothing if they're not backed by discipline. Remember our prayer watch time, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. The watch of discipline. So here's the challenge. Here's the real challenge. Will you just talk about growth? Because it takes change, takes transformation. Will you just talk about growth, or will you walk in it? Will you keep giving in to the impulse to defend yourself, to argue, or to prove a point? Or will you step into the kind of wisdom that chooses silence over self-sabotage? Because this isn't just about hearing the truth. It's about applying it. And the time for that isn't later. The time is now, because it is much needed at this time in Earth's history, family. 12 p.m. EKG. I'll be in the prayer watch mode, and I'll be right with you, Michelle. Right with you. Good morning, David Hunt. Just sneaking over from my live. Good morning, David Hunt. So, family, let's stop just talking about wisdom and start walking in it daily. Lace up those shoes and walk intentionally, purposefully, and if need be, quietly in wisdom. All right, family, and remember, you're not walking this journey alone. Emmanuel, God with us, family. Work on it today. Remember that pause. Talk less and say more. Until next time, walk good, do good, Be good. Tornado, I'm out. Oh, as my friends in Udine say, me gone.
Wake up to the sunrise glow. First light reflections, here we go. Torah uses God's wisdom to guide us every day. Self-discovery on the way. Reflect, reset, be your best. Join the quiz, it's not a test. Feel the